Hello and welcome back to another video. So today I'm going to be talking about getting into PvP in Warlords of Draenor, but don't click away yet. I know there's a load of PvE people who are seemingly terrified of PvP, and this is about how it's actually a lot better to get into, at least from my perspective, in Warlords of Draenor than it previously has been. I've been really surprised, actually, at how much fun I've been having just doing casual PvP on my Paladin. No rated stuff, so no arenas yet, and no rated battlegrounds, but just doing a little bit of Ashran and a few other things. I think that Blizzard have made some really intelligent design decisions when it comes to PvP, and especially when it comes to getting into PvP. Now, first of all, I think the most important point to say right now is that if you don't have PvP gear, then you don't need to worry. Because you see, when you go into an arena or a battleground, it actually scales everything that you have up to 650. That is brilliant. And right now, 650 is decently close to other people who are sort of gearing up in PvP. And I found that even going in on my Paladin, which has 1 or 2 bits of honor gear and crappy questing gear, I found that I've been able to actually help my team, and in general, that does seem to be quite well balanced. This is great. I think a lot of people, especially with the whole MoP setup with PvP, just thought, well, you know what, I don't have the gear to do PvP. I don't have honor gear, therefore I'm going to be useless in Battlegrounds. And I'm useless in Battlegrounds, therefore I'm not going to get any honor gear. Well, that's just not the case right now anyway. Perhaps at the end of this season, when everyone's decked out in Conquest gear, you'll be in a bit of bother, but at least for right now, it's definitely accessible, even though it has been a month and a lot of people are already fully decked out in sets of gear. Now, of course, they've also revamped the whole way in which rewards are done from PvP. Instead of just doing the random battleground of the day to get a, just like a, what was it, 180 honor or something like that, you now get a strongbox. And the quality of the strongbox that you get depends on whether you win or lose, and again, depending on that, how many objectives you do. So if you're in a Warsong Gulch and your team captures 3 flags and you're fighting the objective well, you'll get more rewards. And the whole strongbox system is really awesome as well, because strongboxes can contain like gold, even conquest points, sometimes honor, sometimes just bits of gear. And it just feels a lot more fun and rewarding. And I suppose one of the reasons why it does feel more rewarding is because they've just flat out give you more. You can gear up faster now than you previously could. I think one of their design goals was just to get people into PvP gear pretty quickly in terms of the gearing process, and then to try to make gear less of a barrier than it previously had been. That's totally worked out well, in my opinion anyway. Now, moving on to Ashran. Ashran is Ashran. I think a lot of the issues that I had with Ashran in the beta have been realized, plus a few more that I didn't anticipate, especially in relation to queues and faction balance, or more faction balance's effect on queues. Ashran is a bit of a mess at the minute, and even Blizzard have said that they're not really happy with its current state. And I still have quite a few problems with the actual gameplay design of Ashran. I just don't think that pushing the middle lane is fun. Ideally, actually, Ashran is the most fun when you're when your team is steamrolling the enemy and you're constantly moving your way into their base, killing their captain person, and then getting a big reward of, honor and a lockbox and all that stuff. But when there is balanced combat going on, that's when Ashran's at its worst, because it's just a meat grinder in which bloody nothing goes on and you don't get any rewards. That sucks. That really sucks. It's so silly. Yeah, so that's a bit frustrating. However, I think there's still fun to be had in Ashran. I've only really partook in the main kind of mid-lane combat when I think there's a good chance of me actually killing the opponent's captain person. Or not captain, like general, and getting the lockbox. No, what I've been mostly doing in Ashran is just hopping off to the side objectives. Now, they've actually changed the bonus objective system as well. In case you're not aware, in each of the 4 sort of main side areas in Ashran, there is a bonus objective. And the way that used to be is you just went in, you did them, you got 500 honor, and that was it, done. Well, they've recently hotfixed it so that they only give you 150 honor, but reset daily. And I think it's decent, going there, doing those. And then also bonus objectives, not bonus objectives, whatever, what are they called? Events, yes, events pop up in Ashran. So there could be an event in like the mine where everyone has got to rush to the mine, click in a few things and do stuff. And they actually reward you really well. And then, of course, you get these artifact fragment things when you kill mobs in Ashran. And all this stuff just means that there's a decent amount to do there, though I still can't really stick doing it for more than an hour. It just does get a bit dull to me. But really what I have been enjoying is the actual PvP combat, the gearing up process. I've been having an absolute blast when it comes to battlegrounds and things like that. And even in Ashran, sometimes it's just been really fun having a small skirmish in one of those little bonus objective areas. And it's just worked out really well. Another thing that's also really helped my enjoyment is that they've really pared down on the amount of CCs going on. That's been great, because it really did suck being like, the druid cyclone thingy for 8 seconds, then you get feared, then something else happens, then you're disarmed, etc, etc, etc. It was ridiculous back in MoP. Now I think that there's still sometimes in a few situations maybe a little bit too much CC, but in general I think it does work out quite well, and it's a lot more fun than it used to be for me. Oh, and another thing that's really cool is the Gladiator Sanctum building in the garrison. It's just awesome. Basically, whenever you kill people in Draenor, you get from like 2 to 5 of these broken bones, and you can turn them in for the work order, and that work order will give you honor, a chance of gear, and sometimes even conquest and Apexis crystals, which is pretty darn strong. So yeah, I've been doing that constantly, and I think really one of the overall things that's just improved PvP for me is how they've handled gear. I feel like I'm getting gear when I put the time into PvP. It's fun. I feel a very noticeable progression with it all, and that's just a big improvement over what it used to be. Plus, the variation's great, you know. I think the lockbox system is just more fun. You can get honor from the fragments in Ashran, from the broken bone thingies from the Gladiator Sanctum. It's, I suppose, in some ways analogous to how they have made some of the PvE gearing more fun, and that they've just added more variation, and that's worked out really well. Now, the one thing I can't really speak to in this video is what endgame balance, not endgame, what like high tier balance is like. I maybe will do a video on that if I ever get to that stage, which I kind of doubt, because I more just enjoy dabbling in PvP casually. But yeah, so I can't really talk about balance or how any of that stuff's going on. But what I can say is that I've been having a blast doing PvP. It's been a fun way to fill my time in the game, and it's just a nice little aside to the various other things. Because going around and doing the same PvE content on a few characters can get a little bit old, so it's nice just to be able to spice it up a little bit with that PvP content.